As she said, I am Darci Smith. I am one of our directors of volunteer experience, partnerships and experience, and I work with our 3DE partners in all of our 3DE schools, and I have the pleasure and the honor of talking to Miss Aaliyah Toppin here today. She is a senior from, yes, give it up for Aaliyah. Yes, thank you. She's a senior from Roswell High School, and we are going to speak to her today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Aaliyah first, but we're just going to continue that conversation around impact and give you a real life example of what your impact is doing in our schools and in our communities through Aaliyah. So give me 1 second to open up my notes here. Oh, here we go. So a little bit about Aaliyah. Aaliyah is a great dynamic student. She has a business that she started in 2020. It is called Fantastic Creations. It's a jewelry and crafting business. She runs that alongside her beautiful mom, who's here. Come on, mama, give it up. Yes. Yes, she has participated in 3DE all 4 years of her high school career. And she also has participated in JA Summer Camp as an intern. A super fun fact about, well, before I get to the fun fact, I also want to mention that Aaliyah just credits JA with a lot of help for her in her career as a high school student. It's helped her grow as a leader, teaching her valuable skills in organization, networking, and of course, financial literacy. She's also has the honor of being one of our 19 under 19 scholars. So give it up for Aaliyah. We're so proud of her. And then I do want to mention the fun fact. Aaliyah is one of 11 siblings. She is number 9 out of 11. And that is amazing within itself. I just think that that's just one of the things that probably drove her to be a leader as well. Because how? So we're going to get into a few questions with Aaliyah and just get to know a little bit about her journey in 3D. So first off, hello, Aaliyah.
Hello.
How are you? Is your mic on?
I'm not sure. Wait, how do I know?
Oh, it is. Go a little bit closer.
Like here?
Like there.
Hi.
Hey.
Like on my mouth.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's good. So first question. What has been your favorite thing about your 3DE JA experience?
My favorite thing about my JA 3DE experience has mainly been the case challenges themselves, and I truly wish I could have done them more than just freshman and sophomore year. It was definitely just really fun meeting new people, being able to work with my friends that I already had, and kind of being forced into talking to one another instead of just picking to work with your friends all the time. But it was definitely great just being able to work with a business, kind of seeing that there's more to them than just what you see at the store if you visit them or not knowing about them at all, and seeing what other people think about finding a solution rather than I just find a solution, I put it on a slide, and I just go present it. Like there were many steps to the process, learning what other people think, seeing how your ideas work together. It was just really great. And then the competition itself, I love a good competition, it's great to compete. And being able to see, our team's definitely gonna, do great. We're gonna get to prelims, we're gonna make it past the case challenge, maybe win. And even if you didn't, you learned a lesson from it. So I think it was just really great about that in the process.
Amazing. Wow, you said so much. So many things that, and I mean so much as in what your experience meant to you. All of those things that you just said are all of the things that drive each and every one of these people that work in a corporate business right now. Learning how to work with people you don't know and that you don't choose to work with, that right there is the biggest skill that you'll probably use for the rest of your life. So shout out to you for having that right now before you even get out of high school. So yes, I will. Okay, and question number 2. What learning was the most impactful in your JA BizTown or your JA Finance Park summer camp experience? So thinking back to middle school, right? Way back when. back in, sixth grade, seventh grade. That's so far away because you're like a seasoned, young lady now. Tell us a little bit about what was your best learning and most impactful there.
Unfortunately, I was not able to do JA Biztown or Finance Park as a sixth grader, but I was able to do it when I worked at the summer camp for the internship. And I'd say the biggest learning point that I've developed from was definitely in Finance Park, being able to budget my future. I don't think any kid has ever thought about how much they want when they ask their parents to spend money on things until you have to spend it yourself. So definitely seeing what I want to do with my future, seeing if it's actually possible, seeing if maybe living with a roommate might be a better idea because things are very expensive, or just changing my spending habits maybe. I didn't think about it until I did that experience at JA Finance Park. So I'd say that definitely has changed my view on life, especially since I'm about to go to college. I will have to spend things on my own. I have to go fly from the nest and do things as an adult. So I think that was very great to learn as a child because it changes how you think before you get to that point. It kind of lets you grow into it instead of being just thrown at life out of nowhere. So I think that was a great experience to learn from.
Absolutely, we love to hear that every time, and I can relate because I have young kids that have recently gone through the Biztown and Finance Park experience, and just being exposed to it is enough. Even if you don't understand everything fully, just being exposed to it. The first thing they come home, they're like, "So, Mama, what's your credit score?" And I'm like, "Hold on, okay." Or they ask you about debit cards and like checking accounts, and their eyes are just wide open. They want to learn so much more. So. That's amazing. And we have just a couple more questions. So next, let's talk about the actual people. So like some of the people that are sitting out here in our audience today, the volunteers and the coaches. How have those volunteer coaches and other community volunteers been valuable to your 3DE experience? Like, even if there's like maybe one or two that you remember that had a big impact on you.
Volunteers that I'm really not good with microphones, but the volunteers that I have worked with over the last 4 years have definitely changed my experience because being able to see some of the ones that come back is definitely very impactful. Being able to see someone that I saw freshman year who saw me very, very bad at presenting and seeing them 2 years later and them saying, "Aaliyah, you've done really great. I've seen you grow as a presenter. You're very organized now. You have great problem-solving skills." It changes a lot more than my teacher who sees me every single day telling me I'm doing better because I just feel like I haven't changed much. But seeing someone who I haven't seen in a year or two come back and actually be there to say input or say that they've seen me do better is really impactful, and it has been impactful for my experience. And having that connection, even when I see them like today, I've seen volunteers that I have worked with in the past, and having that connection, that network even on LinkedIn, and knowing that I can go and talk to them if I have a concern or I know that they're working with a business that I might be interested in. It's really great to have that thing to go back to and that solid connection with a volunteer and a coach that I've had.
Absolutely. Invaluable experience, and that's such a great point. Somebody that hasn't seen you in a minute coming back and telling you kind of about yourself and that you've grown and stuff, that's really great to hear. I love that. And then lastly, oops, lost my note. We back. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulty. So, and our last one. What would you say, Aaliyah, is your best piece of advice that you've received from a JA volunteer or coach?
I'd say the best advice I've heard from a volunteer or coach over the last 4 years has been that less is more. And that mainly comes in my presenting, and I'm a very perfectionist kind of person. I like my slides to look very organized, easy to read. No one wants to see a ton of paragraphs on a slide when you're coming to present or be a judge. So I remember hearing that less is more my freshman year because one of my slides had way too many things on it and it was very hard to read. But it also made sure that I was talking to the judge instead of talking at them. You know, most of them already know what they're coming in to learn about, or sometimes they don't. But it helps a lot more being able to say what we've thought about and what we've learned about the business and showing that I did learn something, I did want to know more about the business rather than searching it up on Google, putting it on a slide, and just yapping at them. So I really think that less is more is a really great lesson to learn because it makes more of a connection and conversation with the judge or just someone in general rather than just saying what I need to say and getting it over with.
For sure. Words to live by. Less is more, people. Oh, yes. So before we wrap up with Aaliyah, we do want to learn a little bit more about your future. What are your future plans? If you're going to college, where are you going to college? And then I'm going to ask every single business out here to connect with Aaliyah on LinkedIn because why not? And expand her network.
I will be going in my next bit of life. I will be going to the University of North Georgia. Thank you. I'll be at the Dahlonega campus. It's very pretty up there. I love it. And I'll be studying business administration and marketing. And I hope to study abroad in Rome in their program to learn about more businesses.
Well, congratulations, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for sitting with us. Thank you so much for coming out here. We really appreciate you. Here's your impact right here. If you ever thought that you were not making a difference or you weren't sure, Aaliyah is your proof. And that's it for us, and I am going to pass it on to Carla now.